Greetings folks, in this nondescript little plane box from Banggood we have a very cool little plane. It's the Skyhawk V2, which is a 940mm wingspan twin boom, twin motor or single motor or triple motor if you want to, A-tail FPV plane. It's a very cool looking little plane. There's not a lot of information out there about it. I've been mucking around with an A-tail plane recently and they work really well, look really cool in the sky. Let's open it up and have a look. It's very neatly packed, all in individual boxes, which means there's very little chance of it getting damaged in transit. Let's pull it out and have a closer look. Here's the fuselage. Got some plywood reinforcing in there. You can see there's a motor mount for the single setup version, which I'm quite interested in. That looks like it's a plywood top on the top of the hatch cover there. Fair bit of room in there for 2200 3S, I think it takes. Magnet mounted hatch there. We've got a hole for the FPV camera in there if you want to. We have some nice looking booms, quite thin walled, which means they're nice and light. They are light too, that's great. A couple of reinforcing strips, wing spar. There's the little boom mounts that mount the boom onto the wing. Just have to glue them on, I guess. Where's the wing? Here are the wings. It's black EPP, which looks very cool. Might need some contrasting colours though for orientation, I think, because black sort of gets a bit hard to see in the sky. Servo's already mounted. We've got a carbon fibre tube there that the wing spar slides into. Nice and tight fit. You can hear that seal sort of sound. Here are the tail sections. Booms go in there and it joins together at the top, just like that. Servo's already mounted. You use sort of V-tail or inverted V-tail mixing. Now, one great feature is it's got this flat section on top of the A-tail that's perfect for mounting a Mobius on, looking forward or looking back. That's going to be awesome, and I'm definitely going to be putting my Mobius up there. So we have a couple of sturdy little props. What are they? 5 by 4.5 by 3 props. Servo extension cables. Some bits and pieces. I think we have a joining plate there, which is plywood. Some wing bolts, a spare pushrod connector, Allen key for the wing bolts, I guess they are. We'll see when we go and put it together. And finally, the motors, ESCs and nacelles. So they're already connected together to a Dean's connector. I've got an adapter, or I can chop it off and put an XT60 on for my setup. Easy to do. ESC's already in there. Skywalker 20 amp ESCs with 2 amp BEC on board. 2 to 3S LiPo, so you wouldn't be able to run these on 4S. Motors are Race Series Hollybro MR2205 2300 kV. And these will slip on. There's a right and a left, which is pretty obvious by the way they slip on. There's a sort of a crease mark there that tells you exactly where to glue them on. Just like that. Very cool. Bit of gluing required, but let's get to it. It's all together now, went together pretty easily. There's a reasonable amount of gluing, I suppose. It's a cool looking little plane. I really like the mount for the Mobius up on the top there. I have the decals to put on. I'm going to take it for a maiden flight first before I put the decals on. I may decide on a different colour scheme, possibly. Counter-rotating props. They're both rotating inwards like that. And we have the right-hand thread and left-hand thread so they don't come undone. I have a current sensor in there so that I can work out how much current draw there is. It'll be reasonably high current draw, I imagine, having two motors. Probably not the most efficient, but it looks cool, they sound cool. It'll be great for sort of fast and furious ripping around on FPV. Centre of gravity is 60 millimetres, which is around about there. Hope you can see that. And there's plenty of scope for positioning the battery because I've got the battery right back there and it's still a little bit nose heavy. Really nice, quiet motors. You could do differential thrust if you wanted to. I haven't bothered because you don't really need to. It doesn't really help much. I've just got full throws pretty much. Elevator up. There's the rudder. Rudder is pretty ineffective on these A-tails and V-tails. It's a little bit nose heavy with the battery right back there, so we can even go back a little bit further, which is great because it means I can put a Mobius on the tail and just move the battery forward to balance it. It will also balance with a 1300, just sitting right about there, which is great for a nice sort of lightweight flight. Let's see what the weight is like this. We've got just about 710 grams, I think, like that. I like the option of having twin motors or the single motor on the back. I'm definitely going to try a single motor as well, just to sort of compare the efficiency. Very cool looking little plane. I really like the A-tail look. Plenty of scope for FPV on there, camera up on the tail. Can't wait for it. Okay, thanks for watching. That's the Skyhawk V2 from Banggood. Keep an eye out for the next video where we take it out for a maiden flight.